The problem isn't the world, it's how you see it. Welcome to episode 6 of Change the Way You Think podcast. Most people blame their problems on the world, politics, the economy, other people. But the truth is, it's not the world that's holding you back, it's how you see it. Today, I'm going to show you how your perspective is shaping your reality and how to change it for the better. Calling out all the time, I'm just going to call it out, calling out excuses. If only the government did this, if my boss wasn't such an asshole, if my family would just give me this, if somebody would just help me do this, if just people were different. We hear it all the time. I hear it on social media. I hear it out throughout the world, just walking around. You can always hear somebody blaming someone else for their circumstance or for their situation, but never looking at what they can do to make it better. I used to be that way. I used to remember when I was younger, my granddad had a little bit of money, he owned a ranch, and I was struggling as a young man, and I just wondered why he would never help me. But in all reality, he was helping me because I used to go up there and work on his ranch, and he taught me so much about working, ethics, integrity, doing the right thing, and putting that hard work in there to make yourself smarter and better, to be able to do the things that I need to do whenever the struggles come. So in reality, I'm glad that he never gave me that, and he gave me something more valuable, way more valuable than just helping me through with money or whatever, with my struggles. He actually helped me how to deal with my struggles, but head on. Have you ever caught yourself thinking like this too? Like, why doesn't someone help me? Why doesn't someone do this? How did it serve you, or how is it serving you whenever you're constantly wondering why someone else isn't helping you instead of you turning around and figuring out how to help yourself, right? Your mindset controls how you react to the world, not the other way around. So the way you shift your mind, the way you look at things is going to help you react to these struggles or to the things that you're wishing people would help you, right? Or the government or whatever it is that you're blaming all the time. You have to take that mindset, change the way you think into, okay, here's a struggle, here's a problem. How do I fix it? What's the one thing I can do to fix it? And it might be a pendulum, not back and forth, but if you keep focusing on one more thing you can do to fix it, or what's the one thing you can do to make it better, it'll take time, but you can do it. But the main part is stopping that right there, stopping that struggle, stopping that poor, pitiful me fast and going, okay, this is coming to me for a reason. What do I need to learn from it, or how can I fix it? What's one thing I can do to make it better? Your world is a reflection of your mind. Change your mind and you can change your world. Change the way you think and you can change your whole perspective in life. I promise you, because I used to be a really negative person, a really angry person when I was younger. And I started reading books. I started getting closer to God, and my whole perspective has changed. I'm not a negative person anymore. I'm constantly worried about today, or not worried, but concentrating on today. I don't put a lot of thought into the future, and I don't put a lot of thought of regrets in the past, because it does me no good. Even though I used to be what they call a worrywart, especially when I was younger. That stuff's gone. Like, I concentrate right now because I may not be here tomorrow. And the things I did yesterday, bad or good, I've learned from them. And it's to be better. Whatever I did in the past is always for me to be better. Struggle isn't what stops you. It's the way you see struggle. If you see struggle as a lesson, as something to teach you, as pain that will prevent you from doing that again, that's how you change that mind. That's that mind shift, right? That'll change the way you look at things. That this struggle is a lesson. So I need to learn from it and figure it out. I need to understand it's coming to me, and I'm the only one that can do it. I don't need to rely on the government. I don't rely on my friends or my family. And yes, it's good to have people in there, right? It's good to have the people on your side to help you. They're the positive, right? You surround yourself with growth-minded people. Your mindset is influenced by who you're around. If you're around negative people, or your family's always negative on you, and I hear it all the time about, my parents said this to me, or my friend said this, and I'm just worthless because someone told me. You need to hang around different people. Bottom line, you can't hang around negative people. People that are successful and people that are positive and happy will never bring people below them down. They'll put a hand down to help people up, right? You got to have a hand down and a hand up to be successful. And if people are just constantly putting you down or constantly telling you things, you need to get around different people so your perspective of the world changes, and realize that not everybody's that way. And also realize it's up to you to be able to change that, and it's up to no one else. And being around the right people can help shape you as doing that as well. Catch your thoughts. Notice when you're blaming the world and ask, what's another way to see this, right? That's what I was saying earlier. Catch your thoughts, stop the negativity, or stop the stuff, the struggle, the why poor me thing. And like, what is one thing I can do to make this better? Is that, writing something down? Is that making a phone call? Is that going outside for a walk? If it's an exercise issue, if it's, can I do 10 push-ups a day? Whatever it is, what's the one thing you do to make it better? You got to catch your thoughts, and you got to do that fast and not because your negative thoughts will just dig and dig and dig and dig. And eventually you're so deep into them, it's hard to get out. So catch your thoughts. Notice when you're blaming the world and ask, what's another way to see this? What's one thing I can do to make this better, right? Control what you can. Focus on your actions, not external things you can't change. You have to focus on what you can change, right? Your attitude, your health, the way you eat, if you want to learn something, reading. You can't control the weather. You can't control, if somebody runs into you with a car, yes, I guess you don't have to drive, but that's not an option for people. So there's things you can't change, and that stuff you have to surrender and release to God and know that that's in His hands. And that He gave us free will, and He gave us the ability to think so we can control certain things. He wants us to control certain things so we can be better, so we can grow, so we can learn, so we can be successful, and so we can help others. Refrain from challenges. Instead of, that sucks, ask, what can I learn from this? Okay, this sucked. What did I do wrong? How can I fix it? What did this person say to me? How do I get rid of them? Or how do I take that negativity and turn it into something positive? Right? And then again, surround yourself with growth-minded people. Surround yourself with good people. And then take ownership. Stop waiting for the world to change and change yourself first. No matter what you do, if you want to serve somebody, right, you have to change inside. You have to understand that your perspective on things has to change. From the poor me to why isn't everybody helping me, blaming it on the government, blaming it on the family, blaming it on friends, blaming on the different things. Why are you just stop? Right? Stop. It's up to you to change yourself first. You change yourself, change the way you think, dig inside, and know that you can do this. You may have to read, get around the right people. There's ways to learn, and there's things to do to be able to change. Hopefully podcasts like mine and others will help you as well to be like, okay, you're right. I need to quit blaming everybody else, quit blaming the world, and start taking responsibility for my actions, for the things I can control, for me and my family, for me and my kids, or whatever it is, and know that sometimes life is a struggle. God gives us struggles, gives us hard times so we can learn and grow and be better. It's how he makes us who we are. If we had everything gave to us and the government gave us everything, because the people the government gives everything to, they never get out of poverty, especially people on welfare. It's a generational thing, and they will always stay in poverty because they don't. It's so easy. You're enabling them. Why? Let's just stay poor and get stuff for free instead of actually working hard, struggling, figuring out how to break that cycle. And there's some that do that, and they're usually pretty successful when they do. So take ownership. Stop waiting on the world to change. Change yourself. The world isn't stopping you. Your mindset is, the way you think is. But the good news, you can change that starting now. You can change that today. You can start changing the way you think, writing down your negativities. Get a piece of paper, write everything that you're thinking of negative, the people that ain't helping you, if you ain't got enough food for groceries or gas or whatever it is. Most of the time, if you write that down and you write on the other side, why is that? Usually it's because of you, because you don't want to get off your ass and do something, or you always want someone else to hand you something and you're putting the blame on everybody, right? So it's not the world's fault. It's your mindset. It's the way that you're looking at things. You can change it starting right now. You don't have to wait. You can start anytime and quit. Well, I'm not ready yet. I got to do this. No, you don't. You need to change the way you think right now to help you go from chaos to peace, to help you understand that life struggles is actually a lesson, right? What's one way you've been seeing things as a problem instead of an opportunity? Flip it, right? Own it and take action today, whatever that is. I just want people to understand that we can take control over our own lives and not blame the world. The world is actually a really good place if you change your perspective. It's beautiful if you really go outside and you listen to the birds and you look at the green grass and the trees. Even if you're in the city, right? There's things to look at if you just change your perspective and realize that this world isn't against us. This world is here for us to learn. We have every opportunity, especially in America or the United States. We have every opportunity in the world to be successful or have whatever we want, but it's not going to come for free. You have to work at it. You have to learn. You have to grow. Like I tell my son, nobody is just born with something. Even a 3-year-old kid that can play the guitar, he had to learn it too. He didn't just come out of his mom womb playing. I'm just using that example. I know it's kind of a horrible example, but I'm just saying practice, practice, practice. The best don't get to the best unless they work on it. And you got to work on it every day. Every day of your life, you got to work on it. Sometimes we mess up and we don't. We go backwards. It's okay. Just stop, pivot, realize you did it. Just don't make it a habit and get on it, right? Change that. Change your worldview. Change the way you think. Go from chaos to peace. And I promise, if you start working on it today, start taking responsibility for your own actions, responsibility for the way you look at things, and quit expecting other people to help you and other people to serve you. When you start taking care of yourself, guess what? Your whole life will change. You'll have the right people around you, the right ecosystem around you. You'll be able to help and serve other people as well, which I believe our purpose on this earth is to serve and to help other people. We all serve everybody differently, some with money, some with words, some with actions, physically going and doing things. But whatever that is, if you're struggling and blaming the world, you need to quit blaming the world and start blaming yourself and fixing it, right? And that's kind of where I'm at today. If this hits home for you, please subscribe, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and let's go, let's start changing the way we think together. Appreciate you listening, and we'll talk to you next week.